title, Think, it's too long. Think, Know, Do, Be. And this is about cause and effect. Cause and effect, and how cause and effect works. And a lot of times we think about cause and effect like it's some kind of a scientific thing. You know, we only do it when we're looking at in a science class or whatever. This is about life. Life is about cause and effect. And our thoughts are causal. Our thoughts are causal. And the effects are the results that we get from our thoughts. And so that's why I want to talk about how that works and how we can live our life by default. That's fine. There's no judgment. When I'm talking or sharing with you what I have discovered from what I know, what I've learned from school, from life, from all of you, from your stories and your experiences, I'm just sharing with you so that if it resonates with you, as we were talking about in class today, if it resonates for you, it's something for you. And it might be something you want to look at. If it doesn't resonate, it's not yours. And that's okay. Don't worry about it. But we're just here to talk about how we have a great life. I think that's what we're here for. I do. I think we're here to have a great life. And if we're not thinking about what a great life looks like, I think it's a waste of life. Because I believe that we're all here for a purpose. We're all here to do what's ours to do. And if we don't constantly ask that, and it's not always the same, because we evolve. As we grow and learn, we evolve. And Spirit gives us more and more to do as our understanding grows. And so I believe that that's what we're here to do, and that's why we come here. That's what my work is. That's what I believe my work is to share with you how you have a better and better life. So understanding how life works and how we get results, how what shows up in our life shows up, is directly related to how we think about things. So that means that if we like what we have in our lives, we can continue to think the way we think. But if we don't care for what's in our lives, we can change how we think about it. And this also goes to when we decide on something, we want something to come into our lives. We get to start thinking about that. And I don't know if many of you talked with Mark a while back. And he talked about that he had a plan or decided that he's going to jump out of a plane. Now, I don't quite understand that because it's a perfectly good plane. I've been taking all my life trying to get on a plane and stay on it because I was scared of flying. But okay, those are his thoughts, it's his life. And so he had this thought, I'm going to jump out of a plane. I want to do this. For whatever reason, I want to do it. That's the first thing that happens. You have a thought. And you decide, yeah, that's a thought. And I know it goes from thinking about it to knowing this is what I want to do. Because we have all kinds of thoughts, right? Thoughts come, thoughts go, thoughts come, thoughts go. They're not all things you want to do something about. But he had this thought, then he came to a knowing, yeah, I'm definitely going to do this. I want to know, I'm thinking about it, now I know I'm going to do it. I know this is for me. Now what do I do? How does this happen? And this is where we start talking to Spirit and go, what's mine to do? And Spirit starts giving you ideas and telling you, well, do you know how to jump out of a plane? So you might want to learn about that. Do you know anybody that knows how to jump out of a plane, that has a plane you can jump out of? So you might want to study that. So all kinds of ideas start coming to your head the moment you decide you want to do something and you know this is for you. Then what is yours to do starts to come. And then you go ahead and take action on that. So you think about it, right? You know it's yours. You decide that you know it's yours. You decide you're going to do something, and then you go ahead and do that. Yeah. And then you become someone that has jumped out of a plane. That's who he is now. He's somebody who's jumped out of a plane. Now, I asked him, was he going to do it again? He said, no, thank you. But he's still, you'll never be able to take that away from him, right? He's always going to be someone who's jumped out of a plane. I'm never going to be that person, and it's okay. Never going to be that person. But you understand what I'm saying? So we just get to look at our lives all the time and say, is this where I want to be? Because at some point in your life, you did. And one of the problems that I have with my life is that because I make a decision about something, I feel like it's permanent. Like I always have to be there. I'm always needing to show up in that way. And I talk about, and I'm not going to go into details a lot, but I talk about I wanted to be a married person. And I wanted to be a married person until I died. That was my thought. I'm going to be in this relationship, and we're going to be together until the end of our lives. And I hung on to that thought long after I should have let go of that thought and revisited the thought, because it was no longer working for me. It wasn't working for my partner, but I refused to rethink it until I had to. And sometimes we were in a workshop yesterday, and we were talking about sometimes the pain of something pushes you to make a change. Sometimes we can make a change without pain, but mostly we won't, because we're comfortable, right? We know this works, we're comfortable with it, and maybe it's not working as well as it did, but it's still working. Until it starts beating you upside the head and going, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. Get out, get out, get out. Then we go, all right, fine. Let me start thinking about how to get out of here. Okay? That's what we do. And part of it has to do, for me, with society, saying you don't want to be a quitter. You want to stick with it long enough. You want to, you said you wanted to do it, so go ahead and be there. Well, that's fine. I was there. But what that doesn't take into account is that it was working at one point and it stopped working. Things stop working through no fault of your own. We don't have to look for blame. We don't have to try to dissect it. Why did this happen? I think that's useless. I really do. I think that's a waste of time trying to figure out why did it happen. Doesn't matter. It did happen. The question is, what's next? The question is, what's next? And so we have to allow ourselves the freedom to think about what's next. What do I want to do now? Where do I want to go from here? And it doesn't have to be big things. I'm talking about, jumping out of the plane or relationships. But yesterday, it was yesterday. I was sending out emails I sent out batch emails to people with an invitation to come to a workshop that I was doing. And then I just had it in my mind, I thought, well, did the email go? Did it go? And so I'm looking, in the sent file, and I don't see it. I'm like, uh-oh, did it not go? What happened? Because I'm not that technically good. And so in my mind, I just thought, well, send it again. Just send it again. And then I thought, now they're going to have several, that's going to cause confusion. They're going to have a lot of emails in their box, and they go, is this the same one? Is there more information on this one and that one? And that? So I just sat there and I just said, what's happening, Spirit? Should I send it or not? And Spirit said, girl, you already sent that thing. Just go on and do something else. And so when I finally said it, I found the one that I did send. So I didn't send it again. But these are the things that we get to do. We get to look at our decisions, we get to look at our lives, and we get to say yes or no. Is it still working? And we don't have to feel bad because something stopped working. Everything isn't meant to be a lifetime. We have a saying here in New Thought. I think it's a New Thought thing. It could be a saying out in the world that some things are here for a reason, a season, a lifetime. And we want to make everything about a lifetime. But maybe it's just a reason. You came together for a reason because you were in school together. And it worked. And you guys were partners in studying. And it worked really well for you. Or maybe it was a season, the whole 4 years. You guys worked really well together. Once school was out, there was really no reason to be together anymore. Or maybe it is a lifetime, because maybe it's family. And you don't want it to be a lifetime, but it is. So what are you going to do? So the best you can do with that is to think about how best can I be in this lifetime relationship. And so I went to Thanksgiving, and we had, everybody loves to cook. And we even got my little 11-year-old grandniece. She wanted to cook this time, and really for this family, because we're pretty critical. And so, but she did. She made some macaroni and cheese, and it was really good. So now she's one of the cooks in the family. So we all bring things. And I got there, I wasn't feeling too good. I had allergies that make me feel like I had a cold and stuff like that. And I was feeling a little, what is the word that you say? I wasn't feeling that good about my daughter-in-law. Yeah. I just wasn't feeling her at some point. And I just thought, okay. I started, in my mind, making up stories.
Other PhD.
Okay, the other PhD, all right. Yeah, So I just thought, well, hang on. Stop. I just stopped in the middle of those thoughts, you don't have to take a thought all the way down to where it's going. You can stop it because it was a negative thought I didn't want to have, and it wasn't going to take me where I wanted to go. I want to be in relationship with this woman. She is my son's wife. She's a part of this family, and I actually love her. She's a fun girl. She has her problems, as do I. I'm sure you'd ask her, she'd tell you a whole list of stuff that she don't like about me. That's fine. But it's just, okay. So I just thought, you know what? What are you focusing on? Focus on the things that you love about her, and I did. And she was marvelous for my granddaughter, who my son's daughter was. I think she was in the 5th or 6th grade. I can't quite get. I think it was somewhere like that. She was flunking out. How do you flunk out of 6th grade? You're just not paying attention. You just don't want to be there. You're just being a butt. And so she said, well, let her come stay with us. Let her come stay with us. And so she did. Now, my daughter-in-law is deaf on school. Her kids all have their degrees. They're doing wonderfully well. By the time she finished telling my granddaughter how it's going to go, and she didn't just tell her how it's going to go. She was with her. This is what we're going to do. No, we're staying up. We're doing the homework until you have it done. We are doing it. And she didn't send it to her room. She did it. And the other grandkids, the older ones, they would tell her, like she would try to say, I don't feel good, and I'm not going to go to school. And they'd say, Mom, don't go for that. She'll send you to school sick. She don't care nothing about that. So she ended up, my granddaughter, not only graduating from high school, but graduating with a scholarship. With a scholarship. This is a woman. I actually called my son one day. I was so concerned, and I said, honey, you're going to need to get a house with a basement because I don't know where else your daughter's going to live. I don't know how it's going to work. And now she's just doing beautifully. She's a nurse. She moved to Dallas. She has her own home. She's doing really well. That's because of my daughter-in-law. How do you not like someone like that? How can you not really care? So I changed my thinking about her. And like within the next day or two, she called me up. And one of the things that was bothering me was we didn't have much of a relationship. With my daughter, we talk once a week, just talk and laugh and all that. This woman, we don't talk. We don't talk. I don't get invited to her home. But she called me and she said, Mom, I wanted to know, you were talking about this thing that you're doing. Tell me about that. How does that work? Yeah, okay. This is about her, but it's also about me changing my mind. Changing my mind, okay? So whatever is going on in your life, it's about your thoughts. It goes from a thought to a knowing to a doing to being. But from being, if you don't like what you're being, you can change the thought. Go back to the beginning and change your thoughts about it. Introduce a new thought because thoughts are causal. They will change the results. They will change your life because everything starts with that. So that's the power that we have. That's all I want you to know. Is cause and effect. It's about our lives. It's about how we have a great life. And we begin by how we think about stuff. And if you're looking at somebody and you're thinking, why are they here? You can change that thought and think, what are they bringing to the table? What do they bring? See, it's a different thought. Why are they here? What are they bringing to the table? That's good. What are they bringing to the table that's good? No one is all good or all bad. No one. You can choose. You can choose to see what's good. You can choose to only focus on what is good. What is good in your life and in someone else's life. That's a choice you get to make. To me, that's how you have great relationships, by making those kinds of choices. You can't change other people. How many times have we talked about this? I was talking to my sister, my oldest sister, and her granddaughter is giving her mother, my sister, my niece, a really hard time. She's 20 years old, and she doesn't want to continue. She got a scholarship for college, but she doesn't want to go. She's tired of school. She wants to get a job, but she really don't want to work. And then she wants to stay at her mom's house and treat her mom badly. And the mom's like, that's not happening. That's not a choice you have. And so my sister was saying, so the four of us, her daughter, her brother, my sister's brother, the four of them were going to sit down and talk to her. You know, they want to make sure that she understands. And I said, okay, well, let me just say this. You're talking to her, it's for the four of you. Because she hasn't asked you for any information. So she isn't going to hear anything you've said. So what you say is just so you can feel good about the fact that you tried to do something. But it isn't going to change. It isn't going to change what she's doing. What's going to change what she's doing is let her do what she needs to do and let her experience life. It'll either work the way she thinks it will, or it won't. You can't stop somebody else's life's experience. You can't. You don't want to, because that's how we learn. That's how we learn. She can then change her mind at any time because the family isn't going to kick her out of the family, just kick her out of the house. Because you can't treat me this way. That's what the mom said. You can't do that. You can't live here and treat me bad. That's not going to happen. And that's the mom's choice, right? But you're not kicked out of the family. And when you want to behave and act like a human being, then you can come back anytime. But their idea of thinking that they could sit down and have an intervention, that's not, Carter's making that face. I think you've had some experience with that. I've had some experience with that. They're listening, I mean, because you're talking, and they act like they're listening because they know that you'll get upset if they don't, but they don't hear you. They don't hear you, okay? So it's a waste of time. Do you hear anybody who's talking to you and you didn't ask for it? No. Just like, right, whatever. And your eyes rolling back in your head and all this type of thing. So this is what we get to do. That's all. We get to only talk about what's going on in our own lives, how we want to change, if we do. And I'm not saying that you do. I'm not saying that your life is good or bad. I'm just saying that whatever is going on, if you want more, you can have a different thought. If you want to change, you can have a different thought. It all starts with having a different thought because of cause and effect. And that's the way it is. And that's what we know. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. Emerson had a quote. I'm going to try to remember what it was because it's a wonderful quote. And he said that cause and effect is a continual education of life. Continual education about life. Cause and effect. So we all have it. We all can use it. What we want to do, like everything else, is rather than live by default, live by design, and know what it takes to have the life you're looking for. And so it is.